So I think we better get started. So it's a pleasure to invite you to our workshop on neural signal and image processing today. And I just want to say thanks to Majid and Artur for getting such a great selection of speakers and doing this sort of whole day hands-on workshop. And a few things. So the workshop's supported by our Dynamic Brain Circuits and Health and Disease Cluster, a research group. We have about 25 investigators that study functional and structural brain circuits from really tadpoles up to humans. And so we've used some funding from this to help support the conference, and also infrastructure. Nate Powell, who's working with us as well. One thing I want to emphasize to everyone is that we want to make sure that you all come away from this workshop learning something about data analysis that you can potentially apply yourselves. So I think if this goes over your heads, or if you don't have the proper code afterwards and stuff, then I kind of feel that we failed. So please, speakers and then also attendees, if there's something you get stuck on, we can have people walk around and certainly help. I know there's a lot of moving parts, downloading materials. One of the things I'm going to do is we are collecting all the files in a single Dropbox, and then I can share that link to you. It may be a little bit easier because I noticed I tried downloading the files. Like I don't know. I'm sure you guys have already downloaded all the files and tested them and stuff, but I hadn't, and I tried this morning, and they're in a bunch of different places and stuff. So I think it's easier this way. Let's see. So let's make sure that everybody comes away with something. Just as sort of a straw poll, who here currently is using MATLAB in your data analysis? Okay, so more than half the people. So that's great. So we have probably a fairly advanced group, but then I guess the balance, maybe 40% of you don't use MATLAB. So we have to make sure that this is really pitched to everyone. And I've used MATLAB a little bit, but I can't say that I really know what I'm doing. So hopefully everybody will get more proficient. And we're recording these presentations, so we'll have those later. Speakers, it would be nice just to be able to put everything online, and then the idea is that we're trying to present things, at a fairly low level. So I don't think it necessarily needs to be your latest, greatest, unpublished result. Or if you want to describe that, please do. But I think we're looking for just getting everybody up to speed and familiar with these methods. So yeah, we're going to have a lunch and then a coffee break in the afternoon. And I think there'll be lots of time for discussion. And then I think Majid has some words.
So thanks, Tim, for the introduction, and welcome everyone. Just wanted to go quickly, hopefully less than a minute or so. This is a quick overview of what's going to be covered. So we're going to start with Artur, which is going to talk about analysis of neural population data. Then later, Adrian is going to kick in, talking about place fields and head direction cells analysis. After, we're going to have Kale talking about analysis of EEG signals, which essentially can be also used for many other type of electrophysiology or imaging data sets. Then we'll have Britzloff talking about graph theory and measure of brain connectivity. And after the break, we will have first Mark Raymer talking about multivariate analysis, and later Arthur again will be talking about deep learning and its application in data analysis. And we will finish with Todd Woodward, who's going to talk about how we can basically use some of these methods to analyze fMRI data. I remember having a dinner with Sam Weiss, who was previous director of HBI in Calgary, and now is director of CIHR, one of the branches. And he made a very nice quote. He said that more time goes on, biology become more slave of mathematics. And I found it really what I think that's really true. So the data is coming along. There is no new methodology. So you buy a big hard drives, and it will basically over in a week or so. So with that comes with a lot of different methods of data analysis. So I think this has become now a new requirement for every one of us who are basically trying to understand, at least to some level, how the brain functions. So what I thought to introduce also some similar summer school or workshop that basically cover very similar topics. I'll start with this one that was actually organized by Mark Raymer, who will be here this afternoon. It's a Cold Spring Harbor course, summer course. It's a 2-week course. It's neural data science, it's called. And there, usually students that have a little more understanding of data analysis spend 2 really dense weeks, like I think all the way from 8 to 11 p.m. or so, really kind of learning the new analysis, but also bringing their own data set to kind of see whether the instructor could give them a help for data analysis. We have very similar course in University of Lethbridge. This is covered by Campus Alberta Neuroscience, and the difference is here we have students that necessarily don't need to have really that much of understanding of computational methods, or really many of them don't have really any previous use of MATLAB. So in this almost 2 weeks course, we basically bring them up to speed so they can basically start using MATLAB in their data analysis. And now we are trying to also offer something similar online for advanced course. And starting from this year again, there's going to be another summer school in neural dynamics in University of Ottawa. So again, there are a few options, at least for Canadians, that they could consider if they wanted to learn more about some of the things that you're going to hear today morning and afternoon. What I wanted to, again, emphasize, just adding to what Tim has said, here today we're just going to give you a sneak of what can be done. Obviously, the expectation is not that you learn a lot of things, so at least you understand and see what can be done. And then later on, you can go and contact the instructors, or, there is going to be a lot of online course or some course like that. You can basically follow up using this, similar avenues. With that, I would like to give the podium to Arthur.